Even entire countries are loading up on physical gold and silver. Why? Because when markets swing and countries print, real assets hold their value. That's why I want to tell you about Noble Gold Investments. They make it simple to own investment-grade gold and silver, the same kind the big players are buying, and you can actually hold it in your hand or put it safely in your retirement account. You've worked hard to build your wealth. Isn't it time you protected it? Noble Gold is family-owned, trusted by thousands, and ranked #1 in gold IRAs 4 years in a row. Their precious metals specialists are standing by to answer your questions and walk you through every step. Simple, safe, easy. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com today. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. It's time to protect what you've built. Hey friends, welcome back. Thanks so much for being here. Sean from SGT Report with a blockbuster presentation for you today, guys. Cancer exploding all over the world. And I got to tell you, what's really funny is the mainstream horror media would have you believe it's because Americans aren't lining up to get their vaccines. In fact, it couldn't possibly be the fault of the COVID-19 bioweapon masquerading as a vaccine. Got so much to talk about today, including a hot mic between Putin and Z discussing organ transplants and immortality. You can't make it up. Kim Bright is back. How are you, Kim?
Hey, I'm great. How are you, Sean?
Well, I am very well, and I want to do a screen share and just show you this real quick. Our president, Donald J. Trump, attending the Religious Liberty Commission meeting and letting a young man speak about the demon rats and their agenda to destroy our youth. Listen to this.
Hi, I'm Shane Cias. I've been a Christian my whole life, and Jesus means everything to me. When I was in 5th grade, my school forced me to teach my kindergarten buddy about changing his gender using a book called My Shadow is Pink. The book said you can choose your gender based on feelings instead of how God made us. I knew this was not right, but I was afraid of getting in trouble. After my family spoke up, the school treated us badly, and kids started bullying me and my brother because of our faith. And the school did nothing to stop it. It hurt a lot, but I kept trusting God. I believe kids like me should be able to live our faith at school without being forced to go against what we believe. I hope no other family has to go through what mine did. Thank you.
It buoys the spirit that our president would actually stand up for young men like that. Kim?
Oh, quite a young man. And that was wonderful that President Trump pulled him up there to talk on that and expose that evil that they're have been trying to put into our children's minds for the last 4 years.
Yeah. Meanwhile, demon rats fight to keep these abominations in place while fighting like rabid dogs on behalf of big pharma, cloaking the truth. In fact, openly lying to the American people about vaccines and their supposed safety. We'll get to that here in just 1 second. But I wanted to compare and contrast Donald J. Trump standing up for young men like that, standing up and speaking out about the truth of the transgender insanity. Meanwhile, a hot mic catches Z and Putin discussing organ transplants and immortality. Check this out, guys. All right, openly talking about immortality by, I would say, harvesting the organs of maybe the Falun Gong and transplanting them into the rich and powerful in the Communist Party. Compare and contrast our president with that, Kim.
Yeah, I mean, here they are talking about immortality and how you can live to be 150 years, while normal people's life expectancy is on the decline. So here they are, the elitists, they're above everybody, and they're going to live to be 150 no matter what they have to do. Very sad, very evil.
Well, meanwhile, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Guys, by the way, global life expectancy declines for the first time in 30 years. Get the subheadline here. This is nuts. COVID-19 slashed overall life expectancy according to a highly anticipated update of the Global Burden of Disease study. Kim, allow me to rewrite that headline. The COVID-19 bioweapon masquerading as a vaccine slashed overall life expectancy. We've got the receipts. Your thoughts on this exceptionally bleak headline?
Well, I think you've said it all. And I mean, it's interesting because what they reference in this article, it was commissioned by the World Bank in 1990. Isn't that interesting?
All roads lead back to the bankers. I've been saying it
Hmm.
my entire life. By the way, anyone born after 1939 is unlikely to live to 100. I've got a soundbite relating to that too, and it happens to involve the SV40 cancer gene. Okay, the cell line from the SV40 cancer cells have been found in the Pfizer mRNA vaccines. I've got a soundbite to play, but before I play it, let's hear from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. regarding that last article, Global Life Expectancy Declines for the First Time in 30 Years. Check this out.
76.4% of Americans now have a chronic disease. This is stunning. When my uncle was president, it was 11%. 1950, it was 3%. Today, it's 76.4%. 8 out of 10 of our kids cannot qualify for military service. This is a national security issue. When my uncle was president, we spent zero on chronic disease. Today, we spend $1.3 trillion. If we don't end this chronic disease, we are the sickest country in the world. That's why we have to fire people at the CDC. They did not do their job. This was their job to keep us healthy.
Thank you,
And
Mr.
I need to fire some of those people to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, Kim, did you see any of that, the exchanges last week on the Hill between the Demon Rats and Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? I mean, these people are just beyond the pale. The evil spewing from their eyeballs and their mouths and just puking all over the man, lying directly to the American people, trying to cover up the fact that these things are killing people. The mRNA technology is unstable, unproven, and very, very dangerous. But the Demon Rats, well, they don't want the American people to know that, as they pretend to care about the health of we and our children.
Oh yeah, it was total lies. I mean, and puking is a great word because that's really what they were doing every time they opened their mouth, just puking out evilness. And it was just awful to see. And I was so happy that he had fought back. He sat there very quietly when they were doing that and then came right back at him. So he's not going to back down. But to me, to understand that he is trying to get us to live healthier, longer lives, and then these people want to not have us live longer, healthier lives. Right now, in 2014, life expectancy reached its peak at 78.8 years, but then it declined and it dropped drastically. In 2020 and 2021. Of course, we all know what happened then. But they want to make it seem like it's just COVID, that it was throughout the 20th century, it was just COVID. But clearly the decline, it happened before 2014. Before COVID in 2014, it started to decline after it reached its peak. But the pandemic, when it started, it fell off the cliff when, of course, the vaccine was introduced. So I think we really have to understand that was going on.
The other thing to mention, the fact, though, is that men rarely live as long as women. And I don't know what's going on, but all of the older men in my life all seem to pass away between the ages of 62 and 68. They're just dropping like flies, Kim. It's you women that might be lucky enough to reach the age of 78.8. I mean, let's just be frank. Men already die younger. Meanwhile, those who took the COVID bioweapon, masquerading as a vaccine, those are the ones that are dying in their sleep, as our friend Bob did just 2 years ago after taking 3 jabs from Pfizer.
Awful. Just awful. I mean, you have to look at it though, because men are under a lot of stress, and going out, they definitely die younger, and we need to teach them how to eat, better, take care of themselves better. We want you guys around longer.
Yeah, we'd like to stay around longer too, but the powers that ought not be, Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, nope, they want to thin the herd. Let me show you guys this too, because as it relates to anyone born after 1939 is unlikely to live to 100. Oh, unless we find a cure for cancer, that is. Oh, that's rich. More on that in just 1 second. Don't worry, Big Pharma's got the cure for cancer, guys, coming to you in the form of a vaccine. You can't make this stuff up. But I think all roads lead to the S40 cancer virus. The S40 cancer cell line is literally being found in Pfizer mRNA vaccines, folks. Here's Kevin McKerman, a genomics expert.
So we didn't find the whole virus. The whole virus is about 5,000 bases long. We did find the SV40 origin of replication, which is important. I'll touch on that. The SV40 promoter and the SV40 enhancer and one other piece of it, the part of the poly-A signal. Those 4 pieces. But the SV40 enhancer has been published by David Dean to be a nuclear targeting sequence. So all the people who are claiming this will never get to the nucleus aren't really aware that, no, there's the sequence in this plasmid drives it straight there. The other piece of information there is the SV40 origin of replication. That's a mammalian origin of replication. What that means is when that gets into a mammalian cell, it starts making more of itself. So I think that's a very important risk that the regulators need to consider.
Okay, let's interpret that in English. When the S40 cancer line gets into your cell, it replicates, folks. That is why we're having turbo cancer. By the way, the SV40 cancer line was famously put into the polio vaccine, the one that Bill Gates brags about all day long.
A virus called simian virus 40, SV40. It's one of the most carcinogenic materials that is known to man. In fact, it's used now by scientists around the world to induce tumors in rats and guinea pigs in labs. But it was in that vaccine. 98 million people who got that vaccine in my generation got it. And now you've had this explosion of soft tissue cancers in our generation that kill many, 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 many more people than polio ever did.
Kim, SV40 cancer lines, turbo cancer, they're trying to kill us. Let's be frank.
Yeah, I think, population control. And, the whole thing is they're saying now that they want to create, a cancer vaccine. It just follows one thing after another. It's like create the problem and then give the solution. Is anybody recognizing that out there at this point in time? They've been doing this for decades, but this is so in our face. We gave you the jab, and not only did we give you all these problems with the COVID shot, but we also included a little cancer in there too. So let's get you turbo cancer now, so we can create a vaccine that we can come out and say, oh, this will knock out the cancer, because we're going to create something that goes in there with all of these mRNA particles. And it's going to make your body act like this is a high danger, causing your immune system to just go whack-a-doodle to try and fight this off. And now everybody's going to have, out of control immune response, which then leads to MS, a continuous attack like lupus. We're going to have all these different problems, IBS, and then in RA, rheumatoid arthritis popping up too. So it's just like, well, if we can't get you with this one, we're going to get you with this one, and we're going to make your immune system go crazy. And this is insanity. And they're trying to say that this is such a great thing we're working on, because wouldn't it be wonderful if you could just take a vaccine that you can knock out your cancer cells, it'll attack your cancer cells. But wait a minute, we might have to make it specific to you, because cancer, it actually changes, very quickly and rapidly. So we might have to design it for each and every person. But wow, wouldn't that be great? I mean, why don't people understand? Why are we looking to these idiots, these insane, evil people? Why are we not going, what can I do to strengthen my own body? Why do I need to put in all of this crap to make me even sicker? I hope people are waking up. Really, I do, Sean, because there's ways to strengthen your own immune system. There's ways to strengthen everything and not put it at risk so it goes into overdrive and then develops other diseases.
Well, 1,000%. Why would we look to the same people who lied to us in 2020?
Right.
About this bioweapon masquerading as a vaccine? Pfizer had the data. They knew, so did the FDA. They fast-tracked it and approved it for emergency use authorization anyway. Meanwhile, all-cause mortality in the Western nations that rolled this thing out is up 30%. Folks, we obviously can't turn to the same people for a solution now to these cancers, but don't worry, Big Pharma has one for you. Universal cancer vaccine heading to human trials could be useful for, quote, all forms of cancer. Yes, wait for it. Here's the subheadline. A new mRNA-based vaccine triggers a response from the innate immune system to quote unquote help arm the body against cancer. Are you kidding me? Kim,
Yep.
Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. The problem is, oh, we rolled out a vaccine. It's causing cancer. We'll just cover that up. We'll make a vaccine to treat people with cancer. That's the solution. You can trust us.
Yeah, and it's just like I said before you even showed that slide. This is what's happening, and they've treated the mice now, and they know that it attacks those cancer problems in mice, and now they're going to present it as a real great solution for us humans. But they could care less that it's going to just send our immune systems into overdrive and our immune responses, which is going to just create further sickness and disease.
Well, people all over the world, again, are dropping dead. Okay, we've got athletes, young people dropping dead on the field, myocarditis, pericarditis in the hearts of young people who foolishly took the vaccine or were forced to play sports, or who had a mom who believed in this technology and believed the official story. So we've got this reduced life expectancy all over the world, not just in the United States, also in the United Kingdom. You know, I got to tell you, Kim, the plot against humanity has never been more obvious. Meanwhile, Bill Gates was in the White House the other day talking about his vaccines in the second chapter of his life.
Well, I'm in the second phase of my career, giving away all the wonderful money that Satya's good work has helped multiply a lot. But I think the thing that ties my first career that I still spend some time on because AI is so phenomenal, and my second career is innovation, innovating in health in areas like vaccines or gene editing, and the President and I are talking about taking American innovation to the next level to cure and even eradicate some of these diseases.
Talking about vaccines in the White House next to Trump and Melania, that made me want to vomit.
Well, you know what? Think about this, though. You've read The Art of War, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. I think that's what's happening. We already know Trump's a pretty smart guy. He's pretty brilliant.
Well, I'll tell you, that's exactly what Dr. Lee Vliet said. We shall see. Targeted rapid aging, TRA.
Yeah, you like that? We came up with that. That's a pretty good description, because rather than just blaming COVID, let's look at all the ways that they are creating rapid aging in us and why we are declining in our health at an earlier age. The first thing, they're using the mRNA vaccinations with the cows. Then we got the chemtrails, all the heavy metals they've been dropping on us in the chemtrails. Then we've got the plastics that are inundated everywhere in the air, in the water, in the soil. Then the vaxes. Then we've got 5G. Everybody is energy. And when we're taking and exposed to 5G, the microwave towers, it is just burning our insides up. And then we've got the people that look so old and fatigued and decrepit from all of this targeted rapid aging that they are throwing at us. And they are really either they're just doing this on purpose, or they're just ignoring these impacts and they're just doing it to make money. I don't know. Everybody's going to have to decide for themselves. But when we realize that we vibrate at a certain frequency, and it is so much lower, millions and millions of times lower than 5G. And if we keep being exposed to those things, and the same thing with the vaccines and the plastics and the chemtrails, all of this stuff, we are going in our food supply. We are going to age very rapidly.
How do you know if you're rapidly aging, guys? Well, we're all aging, but many of us are aging more rapidly than we should be. And if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, well, you might be suffering from TRA, targeted rapid aging. I take sweet wheat, bright moss, and kimchi 1 every day, including Thrive. I take that one too every day. This is the God's honest truth. Every day with my morning coffee, those are the 4 vitamins I take. And then later in the day, I take amino acids, selenium, B15, B17, and all of those things to sort of ward off cancer. But how do these products, Bright Moss, Kimchi 1, and Sweet Wheat, help abate rapid aging? Can they help?
Of course they can. I mean, the sweet wheat that balances out your pH, because as we age quicker with all the things that we're exposed to, and we get that thinning hair and skin and muscle weaknesses and all those things, it's balancing our pH out, and it's going to slow down that rapid aging. Rather than being very acidic, we're going to be more alkaline. But what I really want to get into today is what can repair and what God put naturally into our body that will stave off thinning hair and skin, muscle weakness, aches and pains, low energy fatigue, memory loss, reoccurring infections, weak immunity and mobility issues, brain fog, thinning blood vessels, anything like this, skin issues, shortness of breath, because there's something that's in our body that we lose as we age. And because we've been exposed to all these targeted rapid aging things, that it's also tearing this down and causing it to leave our body sooner than later. So there is a way to handle this rapid aging that God put there naturally.
Well, and here they are right here. Natural ways to prevent aging. Now, I consider these things, bright moss, kimchi one, and sweet wheat, to be superfoods. Okay, they're in pill form, of course, but honestly,
they're
guys,
food.
you've never smelled anything better. I've said that before about these vitamins. You've never smelled vitamins in the bottle that smell better when you open the bottle. But eat organic, nutrient-rich foods like kimchi, stay hydrated, drink enough water. Distilled water is what I like to try to drink. Exercise regularly. I do that. I don't get enough sleep, and I do have a lot of stress. So,
Well, here's the thing. Hydration, let's go back to that. Eat organic, nutrient-rich foods. You've really got to be vigilant and choose. Try and go to local farmers that grow organic, and that way you know you're getting fresh foods. Eat like that. Hydration so important, because it's just like in your car. If your battery's out of water, you don't have the electrical connections for that car to run. It's the same thing in our body. And let me tell you, 5G really is doing a number on the water in our cells. So keep your body hydrated and your skin hydrated. And then the exercise promotes more oxygen into our body, which we absolutely need for energy. And getting enough sleep, well, you've got to, do things that will help you do that, like practice mindfulness, meditation, relaxation techniques. Because if you are under stress all the time, Sean, and we all are, we've got to reduce it, because what happens is when we are under stress, our cortisol levels don't just come on for a little bit and then back off again. It's that fight or flight thing. We are constantly in fight mode. And when we have that chronically happening, what happens is that cortisol starts to tear down our bones, our muscles, our ligaments, our brain. And so we are constantly putting ourselves into a faster aging by staying in this stress mode. So meditate, get calm, do prayer, find things to get away in the country, walk barefoot out, on God's green earth. So you get that resonance, so you can start to balance out your frequency, so it's not going a million miles a second. And that is so vitally important that we do that.
yeah. Well, I have a comment about water and 5G in just one second, but just so folks know, when you call in to get these products, you can get a free collagen sheet mask if you call in. Plus, you can get free shipping, save up to 50%. We'll talk about that and why collagen is so important. But just an observation, you said 5G is really doing a number on our cells, the water in our cells.
Yes.
Have you seen in little towns like the ones that surround us where we are, the water towers all seem to have EMF components atop them? I mean, I'm saying they're, instead of building cell towers, they're putting this technology on the water towers. What do you think that's doing to the frequency in the water that we're consuming?
It's imprinting the water. Water imprints. Like you can put water in a glass and you can pray over it and it imprints that. So this is even more evil what they're doing there. But why collagen is important? This is the main protein that God put in our body, and it holds our body together. It comes from the word kala, which is Greek, meaning glue. and it gives structure and support, and it's 75% of our skin is collagen, 90% of our bones. Remember how I said when we're under stress, and that if we're under that, cortisol is constantly pumping, it's going to tear down the bones and make them weak. It's going to tear down ligaments. It's going to tear down our brain. And so we must keep this collagen in our body, and the only way to do it is to supplement, unless you're going to eat organ meats, unless you're going to eat the whole animal. But tendons are 85%. Bones, like I said, are 90. Ligaments are 70%. Cartilage is 70%. It's in our nails. It's in our hair. So our hair thins, as we talked about, our nails thin, they become brittle. So does the hair. We're losing collagen. We start losing collagen naturally at around age 25. That was before this onslaught of 5G, before the onslaught of the plastics and the chemtrails. This is, decades ago. Now, I think we're down closer to around 20 when our collagen production starts to drop heavily. And women that are in menopause, their collagen drops off a cliff. So by the time if you're a woman after menopause, you've got maybe, if you're lucky, 40% of the collagen that you had at when you were 20. And men have also lost it. So if you want those strong bones, if you want to keep it's in every single connective tissue, collagen is. So if you want to really support your body and strengthen those joints and bones, and it's also in your gut lining, which starts in your mouth and goes all the way down until it exits. People don't realize as you age, you get thinner gut lining. Now you can get leaky gut because it's getting so thin it tears and rips. Your muscles are growing weak because of the collagen loss. They can't support your bones and keep them in place. So your mobility goes down, your flexibility goes down. You don't absorb nutrients like you used to without collagen. And then on the outside, your skin, because collagen is what forms the structure and holds that skin up. You're going to notice wrinkles going away, fine lines, because that's when it's falling down. When your collagen is getting weak and falling apart, you get all those things happening. You're going to see improved nail strength and hair, and is going to be thicker, and it's going to grow, and your elasticity in your skin is going to change as well as the elasticity in all your connective tissues. And so you really, if you want to feel better overall and really ward off aging, collagen is what God put there naturally that we start to lose, and it is being heavily attacked by all of these different angles that these evil people are throwing at us.
So Revive, is that the collagen that you highly recommend?
That is our collagen, and we put that together in this very specific way. We're using 5 types of collagen, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 10. We're using hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is so important because this is like a WD-40 in our body. It keeps everything smooth and moving and lubricated. And hyaluronic acid, they use after eye surgery in order to prevent scarring. The doctors use this. It's a very incredible ingredient, and it naturally starts to leave our body as we age as well. So the hyaluronic acid is there. It's the most expensive ingredient. Biotin is a B vitamin that has very long history of creating beautiful hair and skin. And vitamin C, collagen cannot work correctly or produce without vitamin C. So we put the vitamin C in there too.
It is interesting. I think you hit the nail on the head with this rapid aging thing. I mean, everybody seems to be aging quicker. I'm taking plenty of good vitamins and I'm taking collagen supplements. But honestly, between the EMF radiation, they tried to put a smart meter on my house 3 times, Excel Energy, even though I opted out of that program, and I caught them every single time. They don't care. They just want to roll out their agenda, whether we like it or not, Kim. And it's up to us to protect ourselves and our families.
It is. We have to be vigilant, because if we just close our eye and think, that they're doing the right thing for us, they are not. I mean, look when all these 5G towers went up. That was when they had us inside cloistered from, the pandemic. So we have to be vigilant in all things. And I'm telling you, collagen makes a huge, huge difference for not only, keeping our structure in place, but for our digestion, for our bone health, for our skin health, which is our largest organ in the body. And you can see here the different types, the skin elasticity, type 1 and aging, anti-aging benefits, type 2 joint cushioning and mobility, type 3 supports the skin as well, type 5 hair and nail strength, and type 10 the bone and cartilage health. Not only is it for that, but also anybody that has injuries or surgeries, this helps them recover much faster, much quicker. So, and this I really want to talk about, because you can have collagens out there and they say they use high quality sourcing. We use the highest quality sourcing. I started Brightcore almost 29 years ago. Never dreamed that I would be doing that, but God led me to do that. But my whole thing was I was counseling some very sick people, so I wanted the highest and best quality that I could get. And we're using grass-fed bovine. And we don't want the bovine that's been shot up with the mRNA. Okay, we want the grass-fed bovine where the ranchers care about. They let them range. They eat healthy grass. And as same thing with free-range chickens, we're using an organic eggshell membrane, which is your collagen type 10. And then wild-caught Atlantic cod, not farmed fish. We don't know what they're feeding those things. So we really pay attention, and we get the highest quality sourcing for our collagens. Hyaluronic acid is so important here, because one of the things that people don't know about hyaluronic acid is that it has the ability to pull in 1,000 times its weight in water. So it is hydrating. It is hydrating our cells. It's hydrating our joints. It's hydrating our skin. So we have that elasticity and lubrication. And we've got that smooth movement in our joints, and that skin is plump again. And again, hyaluronic acid helps in wound healing and also after surgery, so we don't get scarring. So it's essential for overall wellness. The collagen for me, I broke my knee stepping off into space after a hurricane, going for a walk on the beach, and stepped off of a walkway and didn't realize that it was 4 feet up from the hurricane taking all the sand away. And the orthopedic doctor, could not believe that my bones were perfect bone density and that I healed so rapidly. And I did my own rehab and I healed so quickly. And I was taking the collagen 3 or 4 times a day. I hyperdosed on it, which I really recommend to people to hyperdose if they have never taken collagen, to get it back in their system, because depending on their age, they need that extra collagen too. And another important thing I want to say too is we third-party test. This is so important to us and important to me, because I want to ensure the people buying our products that they're safe, they're pure, they're potent. And we do that by going to third-party testing. And that way you can be very sure that you're not getting collagens that might have come from questionable sourcing, that are loaded up with heavy metals and other toxic materials. So this is very, very important to us.
Yeah, well, me too. It's important that it's made in the United States. It's important that it's third-party tested and non-GMO. Now, I'm not sure how many other collagens can make that claim. You can save 25% off right now by using code SGT. However, you can save more than that. And maybe, Kim, you can explain how. If folks call in 888-688-0642, they can save up to 50% off and get free shipping. How does that work?
That's right, because we want people to call in. We want to talk to people. We enjoy educating people and talking to them and making sure that their questions get answered. And you can't do that with, just ordering it online. So we enjoy educating people, making sure it's the right fit for them. And not only do they get free shipping, Sean, and up to 50% off, we are also going to give them this wonderful collagen sheet mask. And this is such an incredible thing, because this is loaded up with rose oils and Damascus rose oil and vitamin C and all kinds of wonderful ingredients. And this is going to really hydrate your skin. And don't only just use it as a mask. It's just loaded with hyaluronic acid and collagen in here. And use it all over your body. It is unbelievable what your skin looks and feels like after having that on for 20 minutes. So we'll throw that in as another incentive on top of the free shipping and the up to 50% off.
Huh. I've never heard of that. A sheet mask. So you just apply it to your face. You could just take a nap with that thing on?
That's right. It's made of the highest source of bamboo. So it's all natural. And you just, it has little holes for your eyes and then, so you can breathe and your mouth. But you just put it on and go to sleep for 20 minutes and wake up. And like I said, don't throw it away. Use it all over your body. And there'll be so much liquid left in this that you can use it all over your body. And it's unbelievable how wonderful your skin feels and looks.
Well, as I've told you, my oldest son, who's on the spectrum, you guys set me up with some of these products for him, and he's already gone through all of them. So I hold the empty bottles in my hand. I'm going to have to re-up on Sweet Wheat, Kimchi One, and Bright Moss. Americans have been under assault. People of the world have been under assault by big pharma and by those who peddle lies. Do you have any final words of hope for the audience as we race through 2025? 2026 is right around the corner. Do you believe that?
I can't believe it. But yes, what I would say first and foremost is prayer. Prayer is huge, and we all need to pray more. We need to be active in our local areas and take more responsibility for our own health, because it's just like when you go on the airplanes and they tell you put your oxygen mask on first. Start taking care of yourself first so you can take care of your family, so you can be responsible and not put responsibility off on these people that are trying to, get rid of us earlier. And that's what I say. Have hope, have, faith in the Lord. And, because no matter what happens down here, we're headed to a better place.
Amen. All right, let me show the website one more time. And it's true. Happiness through health. Do you know your most valuable asset is your health, guys?
Yeah.
That channel I listen to and recommend on YouTube a lot, Invest Answers. He's very, very bright, and he says that all the time. And he's a very, very wealthy guy. This guy's worth probably north of $100 million. He's been at the stock trading game for a long time. Early adopter on Apple, early adopter on Bitcoin, early adopter on NVIDIA. Very smart guy. And for as rich as he is, he reminds his audience every single day, your health is your wealth. Because
That's
without
right.
your health, your wealth means nothing. Happiness through health. I will leave a link below, guys, and remind you that if you call 888-688-0642, you can save up to 50% and get free shipping, plus get that free collagen sheet mask when you order. Kim, always enjoy having you on. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Sean, and thank you so much, and blessings to your son. And I'm so happy that you're seeing some good results with our products with him and that he loves them so much.
God bless you. All right. And my thanks to you and your team for putting together that fantastic